Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So today I want to talk about this one thing that may be causing a massive short squeeze for Bitcoin. So what is that one thing? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what else to expect for this week. And I can share a little bit about my experience filming the next crypto gem from last week. So let's do all this. Let's get started. Welcome, guys. Happy Sunday. I got to say, the time difference is absolutely killing me today. So I'm a little tired, but I don't think you guys care about that. You guys care about Bitcoin and what could be causing this massive short squeeze that we may be seeing in the future. First of all, Bitcoin is still hovering around 28,000, a little bit lower. Yesterday was like 28.4. Right now we're like 28.1. But overall, you can see when zoomed out, we are just itching to break this 28.8 and head to 30,000 plus, right? And that's where that short squeeze could really help. But you know, this week there's going to be a lot more turmoil. Last week was absolutely horrible. I can't believe, I was looking at my recap video that I will be releasing tonight. I can't believe how much FUD there was last week. I mean, there's the CFTC thing, right? The USD standard thing. I mean, the bank's still going under. I mean, there's so much FUD out there. Absolutely. I can't believe how much occurred last week. Yeah, Bitcoin is still this strong, but I don't think it's any different this week. People are still wondering what's going to happen. The economic data is showing the U.S. economy is softening, right? Inflation is still kind of hovering. Will the Fed continue to be aggressive? Will they not be, right? You know, there's a lot of question marks, So I know Powell's not speaking this coming week, but Fed President Bullard will be. So, and he traditionally tends to be pretty hawkish. He's always more hawkish than Powell. He wants the attention, you know? Like, I think he should just cool it. I don't think any of these Fed governors should be talking because ultimately their opinions does not matter. It's just Powell. So you got Fed President Bullard, and then you got Cleveland Fed President Mester. They're both speaking, and then Fed President Bullard speaks again. He's speaking twice this week. I bet he's getting paid pretty well to speak. But the two that we're looking for is initial jobless claims and also unemployment rate. Unemployment rate will be huge, and that's coming this Friday. But, you know, there's going to be more turmoil, and people are still wondering what's going on with banks. Now it seems like UBS may be cutting one third of their jobs after being forced to take on Credit Suisse. So is it like a Trojan horse? You know, basically Swiss National Bank told UBS, you know, go ahead and buy them, right? And we'll cover most of the assets. But whatever they did take over could be absolutely horrible and may put a UBS in trouble now. I mean, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, there's still a lot. And then I also talked about how the US dollar is being ditched, right? We have this Ponzi scheme that is the US dollar and the Fed and Treasury, right? In order to keep that going, you need people to have faith in the dollar. You need people to continue to buy US Treasury notes and bonds, okay? Because if the money stops flowing in, guess what happens to the Ponzi? It breaks. That's how Ponzi schemes break down, because the money does not flow in anymore. Like, people catch on that it is a Ponzi and unsustainable, and some trigger makes it so that, yeah, people just stop putting money in, right? You know, the U.S. economy, or I should say not the economy, but the U.S. dollar is the same way. The U.S. dollar has, I mean, the U.S. itself has a triple A credit rating, right? People believe that the U.S. will be here forever. They will always be able to pay back their debts, right? Meaning pay back the interest on those bonds, be able to pay those bonds out also, right? Because the U.S. is so strong. But what if what if that is no longer the case? People don't want the dollar anymore. Well, then how are we going to operate? Well, that means the money printer needs to spin up more, and hence we're going to get a lot more inflation, right? And we're starting to see that. This last week was horrible, horrible. Brazil and then other countries out there, smaller countries, getting off the USD, right? But Brazil is the biggest, obviously, biggest country in South America. And you have China, you have Russia. Russia's off now. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's not the end yet, but it may be the start. Maybe the start. But anyways, that is why we're in Bitcoin. That is why we are in Bitcoin. We're opting out. We want something that's better, something that we don't have to worry about, right? Because there's no countries that control it. There's no countries that use it as a standard yet. No monetary policy, quantitative tightening and easing, and all these fancy terms, which basically means that no one can control the supply and flow of Bitcoin. I mean, that's really all that matters. You have a set supply, and that is why Bitcoin is the greatest store of value that we have on the planet, right? But right now, short term price targets are, after we break 28,800, somewhere between 30, 32, 35. It could go as high as 35. It could shatter through and keep on going, right? Remember that massive short squeeze I let off with, right? What is that about? Well, I saw something very interesting. Well, this is the pattern right now. You have a cup and handle pattern for Bitcoin. So after we break out, sky's the limit. Could be at 30,000, 32,000, 35,000, right? But this is what got me excited. Stable coins, okay? Stable coins normally are not very sexy. No one buys stable coins to make money, other than if you bought USDC when it was depegged, you could have made some money there. But look at this. We still have, if you take all the market caps of all the major stable coins, you add them together, you're at 126 billion. That's a lot of money. Okay, this is not even counting fiat. This is not counting USD or euros or pounds that's on the side. This is just counting money in crypto, in stable coins that's waiting to be deployed. Okay, even though the stable coins have been used as of late, about 35 billion less than a year ago, but you still have $126 billion worth of stable coins sitting on the sidelines. And I know a lot of you guys do. I have, right? And a lot of people have it as a reserve. They want to keep their cash pile around 20, 25, 30%. I get that, right? But imagine when a lot of that money starts flowing in, how much that will drive the entire market up, and definitely be a big catalyst for a lot more short squeeze, not just one, but a lot more that's coming up, right? So that is something to pay attention to. The stable coins, even though it has been dropping a little bit in terms of reserves since a year ago, but there's still so much more. And we don't know how much fiat there is. There's a lot of people that store their money in fiat, like on Coinbase or wherever, and that could be another 100 billion, 200 billion. There could be $1 trillion that's sitting on the sidelines, especially if you include the institutional investors like BlackRock and Fidelity and all the banks out there. They're all like itching. They're waiting for a signal to put all their money in. It's going to happen. It's a matter of when, not if. Okay? And, when it happens, well, it'll be very similar to like previous times, right? Previous cycles. And you could see it. The pattern is so similar. History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. And it is rhyming in a big way right now. Okay? From the top to the bottom, the drawdown time, the percentage, right? It's so similar. And that means once we break into the 30,000 and then we break out of the 30,000 to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? The top, if we're following previous tops could be as high as $200,000 and maybe even beyond that, right? So that is coming. That's why we need to stay in Bitcoin, not only to get away from fiat, from shenanigans of the banks and central banks, but also because this is about to come. All right. And also look at this number of addresses above 1 Bitcoin, close to 1 million. Okay. I talk about how hard it is to become a Wholecoiner. We almost have 1 million wallets that do hold at least 1 Bitcoin. Now, I would say that does not mean there's 1 million people on Earth that have 1 Bitcoin. It's more like maybe a third at most, I would say. Probably like 1/4, to be honest. So you're really talking about, there's only, if you think about it, there's only like about 200, 300,000 people on the planet that holds 1 Bitcoin. On the planet, not just the US, okay? So if you think about it, if you are in this category, you are definitely in the top 1%. And as Bitcoin's price goes higher, as more people come in, right, this number for balance may not be going up at the same rate. At some time, it's going to taper out because as Bitcoin becomes more expensive, people can no longer afford to buy 1 Bitcoin. Only the billionaires will be able to. So, yes, even though right now it's doing this, it won't always be. It's still reasonable. And I say that lightly. I know a lot of people cannot just plop out 28,000 and buy a Bitcoin, but it's still within reason to be able to purchase 1 whole Bitcoin. But imagine when it's at 280,000. How reasonable is that? And then imagine one day when it's at $1 million or $2 million or maybe even $5 million. It basically becomes impossible. And this chart will stop doing this and it'll just start going sideways, right? So that's why. It's a big accomplishment, big accomplishment to become a Wholecoiner. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, some altcoin news. Well, specifically, I know you degens out there love meme coins. So let's talk about meme coins a little bit. Doge is starting to move. Highest level since February as whales add 1.5 billion coins since January. People are still waiting for Elon to do something. Elon's been concentrating so much on Twitter and very, very, very little on Doge. Right? He's really trying to save it because, you know, Twitter still isn't making all that money. I get it, but people are wondering what's going to happen with Doge. I know they recently had some light upgrade, but not a whole lot going on. But people are paying attention to its chart and noticing that, yeah, it did break through this downward channel, right? So a breakout could be happening. And people are still holding on to Doge. And you know what? Robinhood, who made a ton of money from Doge sales, they hold about a quarter of Doge's circulating supply. That's a tremendous amount. Not themselves. We're talking about users. So there's still a lot of people that hold on to Doge, which is why they're still in the top 10, right? There's a lot of people that have very, very, very strong and diamond hands, and they will not let go. And that's what you want to see, especially with meme coins. I got a funny story about meme coins. Actually, I don't know if I could tell that story. Is it? No, I can't tell that story. Okay. So moving on. Also, Doge. What's related is Elon. Elon is trying to dismiss this ridiculous $258 billion lawsuit. And I thought this was dismissed a long time ago, and it still hasn't. It's still over his SNL skit and stuff. But, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. All right. And then Shib. Shib is also seeing a lot of transactions, a lot of burning, yet the price has not moved. So I know Shibarium came out, or the testnet came out, right? A lot of people very enthusiastic over it. There's a lot of burning, 2,000 surge in burn rate, right? A lot of transactions, but the price has not followed. So does that mean it will soon? Well, if they can't keep continuing like this, then I certainly think it will. But right now, I think Shib fans, just like Doge fans, are holding. They have their conviction, and nothing is going to sway them from holding on. And that's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. All right, and then also, I don't have anything about XRP, but I got to mention XRP is still up about 40%, almost 40% this week, because you know what? A lot of people think that lawsuit may be dismissed, that Ripple will be winning that case against the SEC and Gary Gensler. That may be happening. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. You know what? Stephen Young asked, why don't you like BitBoy? I never said that. You know what? Funny enough, BitBoy is a guest on the next Crypto Gem. A lot of you guys know I was filming that. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't know because I was talking about it and tweeting it for a long time, and it's irritating when people are like, why are you in a hotel? Why are you not in your set? It's like, isn't it obvious? Because I'm not at home. Anyways, but I met BitBoy. I haven't seen him for 5 years. And I met him on set, talked to him a little bit, but also more specifically, I spent a good amount of time with him at a dinner afterwards. And we had a good chat. You know, BitBoy is a good guy. When he puts his defenses down, I know, like, I don't know, it's just like, you know, he wants, you know, the attention of the room, right? So he'll, like, come out and kind of, like, grab it. But, like, once at dinner, you know, once I feel like we really had a good time, good chance to talk, very good guy. Very good guy, very smart. We talked a lot about a lot of things. We may do stuff in the future. So that's my story. Yeah, I mean, and he was telling me about what's coming up in his new book about FTX. Actually sounds pretty interesting. So, David, too bad I couldn't have a LA meet day. Like, honestly, every day I was so damn tired. Like 9:30 all the way up to 7. And a lot of times I would have dinners afterwards. So I'd get back to the hotel like at 10. It was like 10 or 11, maybe even later. It's just like, so it was too hectic. Matt B, appreciate it. I'm still scrolling. Crypto Hound, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Big super chat right there. Did you see Gary Gensler wearing thug glasses on his Twitter page? I thought it was April Fool's. It's not. No, I didn't. I think I did, but who cares? Who cares? I hear he's going to be out of office soon. That's the inside rumor. I don't know why, but that's what I heard recently. People are jumping to conclusion on a de-dollarization narrative. Brazil isn't close to ditching the dollar just for trade directly with China. But do you realize it's the start, right? Trade directly to China, that's a huge thing. China is their biggest trade partner. Okay? So I don't think you should take it lightly either. I know it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen this year, right? It's not like everyone's going to jump off the dollar standard, but you got to look for clues and signs of these things when it happens, right? Russia is a huge country. They're aligned with China, obviously. Obviously, they're off the dollar, basically, because they're forced to. And China is trying to overthrow the U.S. China is trying to overthrow and become the dominant economic powerhouse and utilize their digital yuan everywhere. So they're already forcing their hand. Now, Brazil is now doing trade in yuan. What about other countries that do trade with China, especially in the Middle East? The oil. If oil transactions are now being done in yuan, I mean, it's the start of the end, right? You gotta pay attention. I'm not trying to paint a picture it's going to happen tomorrow or next year, but it could happen certainly within our lifetime. Certainly within the next, say, 20 years, 30 years. Thoughts on Solana? Still see potential after FTX? I don't know. I can't answer that. It could come back. When you ask that, you're probably asking, will it go back to its all-time high? It probably will, but it will probably take a lot longer to do so than others in this space because it's not just FTX. They still have problems with their chain. They had a major outage just, what, a month ago? They can't solve that. And their TVL, their DeFi ecosystem is very little now. Most of their transaction is just NFTs. NFTs is keeping Solana transactions alive. Otherwise, there's very little being done on Solana right now. You're getting too old for this. You look really tired. I told you, this time difference killed me today. It doesn't seem like it, but those 2 hours is a lot. So, yes. I'm not the young buck or the spring chicken I once was. You know, I will say this. I met a lot of cool guys. They're mostly in the VC space. One of the other judges, Brian, very cool guy, very well connected. You know, after speaking to him, I realized how unconnected I am. You know, over the last few years, been just kind of keeping to myself, kind of doing research, obviously doing YouTube with you guys, and you know, expanding my brand. But you know, one of the things I really didn't do. Is connect out more, reach to some of these VC guys and you know, learn about what they know. So that's something else I want to do going forward because some of these guys are so well connected. They know everyone. They know all the people that you have heard of and have have, you know, all these like big investments and stuff like that. You know, they're all part of it. Yeah, I gotta get into more of that. So the biggest thing I took out of last week, besides filming the show, which I think was absolutely fantastic, I'm going to do a follow-up video. I did create a video about it, like the first day. I'm going to create a follow-up video and share my overall thoughts, but it was a fantastic experience. And meeting the people and connecting with them was also equally, if not more, fantastic. So, micro DCAs or wait for a dip. There's no right or wrong answer. You choose what you want to do. What happened to ARB news today? Good or bad? It's neither. Neither. Basically, the team wanted to sell some before they airdropped. I mean, it is what it is. A lot of projects do that. They only airdropped 12%. Like what they were airdropping, I said they're airdropping a very little amount. And I told people not to buy it on the first day, especially because people are going to sell it off. They did, right? They'll find a bottom and then they'll recover from there. And that's it. Is Cadena the best crypto outside top 100? I don't know about that, but I would say it has great potential. I've said that since a few years ago. They still do have the same potential. Nothing has changed. They just need to get more projects to be involved. They need to get more dApps on top of Cadena. How would you allocate 10K right now if in no crypto? I would probably just do 50-50. No, I would do this. I would DCA. So I would take the 10K and keep 9K in cash and then 1K, and I would spread it between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then kind of set a schedule. So that's what I would do. But if you're like saying, okay, no on the side, you have to put in 10K because you have more money, I would still split it, but I would split it more with Bitcoin at this point. Probably like 75%, 75% Bitcoin, 25 Ethereum, and then kind of wait and see, educate myself. And then once I feel like I'm a little more comfortable knowing what like XRP is or Cardano or even a meme coins, then start transiting maybe a little bit of that Bitcoin or more of that Ethereum into some of these others. That's kind of how I would do it. Crypto Slice. I have 50K on the sidelines. Should I keep in a bank or take a portion of that out for Bitcoin? I'm debating buying Bitcoin, but I sketch out every time. You know, it's just like anything. When you're first getting in, doesn't matter, into I don't know, riding a bike, driving a car, going on a date, whatever, right? First times are scary. But once you jump in, you realize it's not so bad. What the scariest thing is anticipation of pain, not the pain itself. So I think most people think, oh, if I put money into Bitcoin, it's going to go to zero and I lose it. I think everyone keeps thinking about that. But the reality is you put into Bitcoin, it might not do anything for 6 months. It might not do anything for 12 months. It's not going to just disappear and poof, it's gone. So, you know, 50K is a lot. Okay, so I would say, just like the example I gave before, if you want to get in, you know, do small amounts, test it out, make sure you learn about self-custody too, because if you're just buying on Coinbase, you don't know what you're doing yet, but learn about wallets. You know, learn about how to take that Bitcoin out, put in your own wallet so you can control it, and no one can ever take that away from you, right? I would just do that, you know, just you know, do small amounts. Try not to like time it. It's just really too hard at this point, right? DCA, long haul, and start learning about Bitcoin wallets and other alts out there. Sacha, appreciate that. Are you still playing on Tesla options? Seems like they're on pace to crush the deliveries. Yeah, I still have mine open. I closed a few out before, made a good amount with them, and I just have that in cash. I still have quite a lot of Tesla options. They've been doing very well. I still have a lot of Coinbase options. I'm not giving up on Coinbase. So didn't really look at them last week. I don't think they moved that much last week anyways. TTV headshot. Appreciate that, man. Litecoin halving in August can explode. No. And even if it does, it still sucks compared to Bitcoin. So, Norman, appreciate that. Man, I got a lot of videos waiting to be released, or I got to film. Some of you guys been watching my I Am George channel about my garage door, so I got a response for that and something else I got to share. So I got a video on the I Am George channel that I'll probably need to work on. I'm going to work on another video about the overall experience shooting the crypto gem, which I think will be absolutely huge. Absolutely huge when it releases sometime in July. You know, season 2 is on already, but don't know the location yet. But I think after season 1 comes out, people will really see crypto in a new light and see projects in a different light too. And season 2 is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be way bigger and probably be released in 2024. And the timing of it will be even better in 2024. So I got a video for that to create. And then I have a recap video tonight for you guys. Because there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that happened last week. I don't even remember it until I watched the video. So yeah, a lot of more video for you guys. The next crypto gem is like Shark Tank plus The Apprentice together. The contestants, the teams had to do challenges, and us judges basically, you know, voted on how well they did, and then eventually we had a winner. So it's like The Apprentice plus Shark Tank together, which is an interesting format. And some of these challenges were quite interesting. Like whoever wrote the scripts, they did a good job. There was just a few things I didn't like, but oh well. Today I took my Model Y long range. Do you think it's a good upgrade with acceleration? I thought they got rid of it. I think they don't have the acceleration boost anymore. But anyways, Model Y long range is fine. You don't need it. I never paid for that acceleration boost. It's already fast enough. I mean, honestly, it's 400 plus horsepower. You know, you don't really need more in a Model Y, to be honest. Shamas, thank you. Hey, people want to ask about cars. Does it matter to you? Not to me. Just chill, okay? One thing that really irritates me is like people that get so pissed off when people ask me about cars in here. It's like, you could just ignore it, first of all. And second of all, don't get pissed off because someone's asking some random question, right? It's fine. We don't need, we don't need a-holes in here. Not to say that you're an a-hole, but your response to that, to whoever, was an a-hole response. And yeah, as for my car channel, I have more car reviews coming up. The car market overall still sucks. Even though supply chain issues have been getting better, used car prices have started coming down, but it's still very limited. It's still very hard to find any new cars on a lot. So that kind of sucks. Eli, appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Overall, a lot of stuff happening. But I still think a breakout is around the corner. And once this $126 billion worth of stablecoins flow in, we will see a lot more short squeezes for sure. So smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later, specifically tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and also a recap video tonight for you guys. Have a good one. Take care.